Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports Khabri and Arun Foot. I know we're back with Candid Football Conversation. It's been a while. I think after a fair few, I think month or two, we're back talking about Indian football as an update that the AIFF has posted on their social media handles. It's all over the internet. If you're an Indian football fan, it is that Kalin Chaube and Shaji Prabhakaran were there, and the AIFF has now signed an MoU with CAFA. Again, want to understand from you what the specifics of this are and what it means. We'll discuss about how we reached here, ended up here. But firstly, what is this about? What do we understand from this?
Well, first of all, we have to explain what CAFA is. CAFA is the Central Asian Football Association, so the equivalent to SAFF, which is the South Asian Football Federation, which is Central Asian region, which the AFC has done, that they've divided Asia into regions, so that there is regional football development, there are regional competitions to take place. And this CAFA regions includes Afghanistan, the Kyrgyz Republic, Iran, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. So quite a strong sort of Central Asian bloc, which had a few years ago Afghanistan shifting from South Asia to Central Asia to sort of even out the numbers. And this memorandum of understanding at the moment says that Indian youth teams, men's and women's, which means boys and girls, will participate in CAFA competitions, which would be on one side giving our kids much needed international exposure, and on the other side, CAFA is hoping to enhance the quality and the standard of football in the region.
Yeah, all right. I know. In terms of what does it mean for India and SAF? Because does it have any bearing at all on India's position in SAF?
See, a lot of people have been saying that for India, playing in SAF is rather um, not helping the development of Indian football, because we are the
Yeah.
strongest nation in the region, and we've been since the creation of SAF as a region in the 90s. And from that perspective, yes, that's a fact. But again, the AFC has divided Asia into blocks. There's the other block, which is the ASEAN region, which is sort of Southeast Asia. There's East Asia, there's the Gulf region as well. For us, I think the most important thing it's exposure that our kids get, and I think that's something that, of course, the FF has tried to work over the last few years, trying to give exposures to the under 16, under 17s, boys and girls teams, or even the under 19s, under 20s as well. But this is in a competitive environment. I think every competitive match is better than a friendly. And to play Iran, to play Uzbekistan, those are top nations in Asian football. But also to play Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, the Kyrgyz Republic, even Afghanistan, all these nations is something which will challenge Indian football. And that's something which I find very, very positive. And this has been going on for quite a while. These conversations have been going on for quite a while to get Indian youth teams involved. And now finally it's happened. And it's a big, big step, and it's a big positive step for Indian football.
What about the senior teams? And I don't know what bearing would this MOU have? That's why I just want to understand the specifics of this. What bearing does it have on the senior team, if at all any?
At the moment, the focus is said to be on youth football. They've also mentioned women's football, so maybe the women's senior team might be playing in CAFA competitions, but that's
Okay.
not intended for the moment. But they're also looking to exchange knowledge when it comes to coach education and refereeing. This is something that we've spoken a lot about, refereeing,
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
the quality of coaching. So these are very, very positive step, and I have to congratulate the AFF for this, because it's something which is a little closer to home than, of course, we've had MOUs. I've myself helped in MOUs with the German Football Association. We've had MOUs with the French, with the Japanese, with the English. This is closer to home, and there's a win-win, I think, on both sides. So therefore, this is something which hopefully will work. And again, first step is the exposure for our youth teams, which is very, very good. Hopefully, they can build on it. Maybe bigger things to come, and maybe even CAFA teams taking part in the SAF Championship. We've had two Gulf nations in Lebanon and Kuwait taking part this year. So therefore, there's a lot of opportunities in this MOU, and hopefully that will be implemented.
Do you see that as a possibility? I don't know. CAFA teams coming and playing in SAF tournaments.
Certainly, I mean, we've seen
Okay.
with Lebanon and Kuwait reaching at least the semi-finals or the final of the competition of the South
Yeah.
Asian Football Championship in Bangalore earlier this year, that they added quality to the competition. I think that's something. If you make it an 8-team competition, I think it's very, very good, and therefore it's very, very important for um, not only the AIFF and Indian football, but also for the South Asian region and for SAFF to look at opportunities. And this might be, again, Iran and Uzbekistan might be a little too strong, but again, adding Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, the Kyrgyz Republic, Afghanistan has been part of the region in the past. Those four nations, even adding two of those would strengthen and make the competition much tougher. And much tougher means much tougher for India.
Yeah, yeah. In terms of going away and playing, probably in some of these CAFA nations, what sort of exposure will our boys get? Because again, the temperatures vary. You're playing on different surfaces, playing probably in front of different crowds. Oh, what are the different factors I don't know that we're looking at and saying, okay, you know what, the quality is going to improve and things are going to change?
So currently, our Indian women's are playing in the Olympic qualifiers, and they're playing in
Yeah, yeah.
Uzbekistan at the moment. And it's fall, so it's slowly getting a little cool. The weather is different. Of course, the weather is a factor. When you go there, the environment is going to be different. So all of these factors are good. And again, you're going to get quality opposition, and that is something which is very, very good. Again, if we are playing in CAFA youth competitions, we are playing, again, as I said earlier, competitive matches, and every competitive match is more value than even 2, 3, 4, 5 friendlies. And that's something that would be good, not only for our boys, and I think especially for our girls, because again, our youth structure for women's football actually doesn't exist at the moment. So if our under 17 or under 16 girls get that exposure in that region, that would be huge, and that would be very, very welcome.
Yeah, positive step then, Ardava, like you just mentioned, youth leagues for women, for example, not there right now in India, but they're getting the opportunity to play games, and that will only help us develop and improve. Um, as far as youth structure in the boys category is concerned, Arnava, what's how much of a bigger step is this? Because are you satisfied with the youth system in India right now?
mm, I have to ask the question: what is the youth structure at the moment
Yeah, yeah,
in India?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I still don't know. We were playing pre-COVID under 13, under 15, under 18 leagues. Where are those leagues at the moment? We've had last year an expanded Reliance Foundation Developmental League, and under 21 league, which looked very, very good, with around 50 teams, clubs taking part in that. Um, we need to find out what is our youth structure, and we need to build on that youth structure, and that's, I think, a key. But again, at the top level, for the cream of our youth players, to play under 16, under 17, under 19, under 20 competitions, depending on which age group where the competitions will be. Um, that exposure of playing in CAFA competitions is going to be good. Again, as I mentioned, even Afghanistan, Kyrgyz Republic, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan is good. But on the other side, we've also got Uzbekistan, Iran. We've got the top of the top in Asian football in that. So that is a level of exposure in playing those nations, which is an added value for our kids.
Yeah.
And that's the big positive in this.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thanks, Arnava, for clarifying this and helping us understand what exactly is going on with this MOU, where, um, which parts of Indian football we're targeting. And yeah, no, we have some clarity on it. Let's hope that there are positive results from this in the near future and in the long run as well. Thanks again, Arnava, for joining in for the short conversation. Until next time, see you.
Thanks, Rahul. And as always, guys, share, like, and subscribe Sports Covery and Arun Foot.